Welcome to this BHHS Drysdale Properties exclusive video tutorial. Today we'll dive into the SuperAgent website widgets and settings that relate to property search. We've already been introduced to the look and feel of a couple of these widgets, as well as the concept of instant searches as part of the SuperAgent introduction video. If you haven't watched that, please click on the website button now, and you'll be taken directly to that video, which offers a helpful intro to several of the aspects of the SuperAgent site, including the basics of the property search function. But now let's delve deeper into it. In my opinion, the logical place to start when discussing property search on the SuperAgent platform is with the management and creation of instant searches. Chances are you already have at least one instant search built into your SuperAgent site. Let's click on one of those now by scrolling down to Manage Instant Searches and clicking on the name of the search. On this screen, as explained in the introduction video, you can name your instant search and get as specific as you want. If I know that within the Pleasanton market my sweet spot of buyers are looking for homes between $600,000 and $1 million, I can update the price range and check single family if they won't be looking for condos or townhomes. I can even make my search open house specific here, if I so desire. I would then update the name to reflect the new specifics of the search. By making the search as specific as possible, your instant search tab will be more tailored for a particular niche of buyers. Once you have your instant searches created, you can manage them by clicking Menu under More Options on the right side of the screen. Here is where you make them visible on your SuperAgent site by clicking on More Settings and moving them from Do Not Show in Menu to Show in Menu. Once added to the right column, they will appear in a drop-down under Search Real Estate on the menu bar of your website. This is also the section where you'll optimize your internet search for search engines. The browser title will default to the name of your search. You can update it here. The meta description and meta keywords will also default here. However, you should feel free to add or delete words from your meta description and keywords as you see fit. After adding to our menu and optimizing for search engines, we can now personalize our property search settings. Just below the menu button we clicked on under More Options is Property Search. We click there and we can customize the layout of a search result, among other things. The property result default is set to Gallery View, which looks like this. If we change it to List View, it'll appear like this by default, and Map View looks like this. It's worth noting that the consumer can change the view themselves on the property results page, but the gallery view is intended to be the most engaging of the three, so it might be worth just leaving that as the default. In this same section, we can choose to hide street addresses when showing listings. By doing this, a consumer might be more likely to take advantage of the Request Information widget that appears on the side of any property by default. Or they might choose to go to a different site that does display an address. It's up to you to decide whether the risk of driving a few people away is worth the reward of earning a few more leads through the Request More Information widget. Below this is the Virtual Tours option. You can turn on all virtual tours by unchecking that box, or leave it so that consumers only see virtual tours from Berkshire Hathaway Home Services Drysdale Properties by leaving that box checked. The final three options are relatively straightforward. The default sort order is most expensive. You can change this default to any number of things, including city, least expensive, and newest. Listings on page determines how many listings will show up at once, and you can select any number from 1 to 50 here. The final option is whether or not to allow consumers to search sold listings in MLSs that permit it. Like everything else, this is completely based on personal preference, but do be aware of that little built-in asterisk in MLSs that permit it. Below property results is default search. This section simply designates what will show up if a consumer clicks on search real estate rather than clicking on one of the specific instant searches. Continuing down the page, we have open home display options. The default here is My Open Homes Only. I recommend going with one of the other two options unless you have your own open homes frequently enough to have a regular My Open Homes instant search. The final two options on this page under the editor are text options. Do you want to have page introduction text? You add that here. Do you want to personalize your No Listings Returned text? You do that here. Now, if we scroll back up, we can see that there are widgets that will be displayed on the right side of searches. At the top will be a map displaying each of the properties listed. Below that is a Have a Question widget. If they have signed up for Home Alert through your site, their favorite properties and saved searches will also appear here. You can add or remove any widgets from this right sidebar, as well as reorder them, just the same way you would on your home page. Possibly the most relevant setting for generating leads through the property search function of your website is lead registration. This was mentioned in the introduction video, but worth bringing up again. A couple of links below our trusty property search is lead registration. By modifying the number here, you'll force a prospective buyer to register with your site to see properties beyond a certain number. The default number of properties allowed is unlimited, so you do have to manually update it if you want to prompt people to register for your site. Finally, let's take a quick look at the widgets on the homepage that are affected by the property search settings and instant searches. Click on Design and then Advance to Widgets. The most relevant homepage widget to instant searches is the Listing Search Result widget. In order to use this widget, you must have at least one instant search. You'll select which instant search you want to use and whether or not to display the top 5 or 5 random searches. You can rename the listing search result whatever you like in the title section. On your home page, that instant search will display as 5 list view style listings. It brings your instant search to the forefront in a dynamic way. The other widget that can directly pull information from your instant searches is Featured Property Slideshow. You can actually select to display a slideshow of your own listings here, office listings, region listings, or company listings. But if you prefer the slideshow look to the list look of the listing search result widget, you can select Instant Search and then choose one of your created instant searches from the dropdown. There is also a Property Search widget. This widget allows a consumer to set their own search settings from the beginning, rather than clicking on one of the instant searches. So the look of the results page the consumer ends up on will be determined by your property results settings from the dashboard. Hopefully this video fills you with confidence about your newfound ability to manipulate your SuperAgent website's property search functions. And be sure to check back for more BHHS Drysdale Properties exclusive video tutorials.